Good morning. I'd like to introduce myself. I'm John Kampfe. My wife Amy and I have been members of Countryside Community Church for, I guess approximately 30 years. I'm a member of the choir. I don't play a musical instrument. I cannot read music. And most times I sing off key. All right, let's call it what it is. I'm musically challenged. And if you see any of my buddies in the tenor section nodding their head, ignore them. They're tone deaf. They just don't know it. But even being musically challenged, I absolutely love music. For me, listening to music and singing has a therapeutic, meditative, and calming effect. But as much as I love music, I love even more the commitment our church has made to have music be a significant part of our experience as members of the church, and more specifically, as part of our worship service. Our church is embarking on a new stewardship journey to invest in what we can imagine today that will leave a legacy for many. And one piece of that journey is the investment that we make in our worship services, and more specifically, the investment in and importance of music being a part of our worship experience. As I was preparing for this, I kind of asked myself a few questions saying, well, why is there music in our worship service? And here are but a few of the reasons that came to mind for me, and each of you may have your own reasons. God commands us to sing. There are certainly multiple references to music and singing in the Bible. Songs give us theology. Hymns and other songs are full of rich theological text. Music and singing connect us emotionally. Songs of celebration have the power to lead us to dance. Songs of sorrow or regret have the power to lead us to tears. Music and singing help unite us as a church and a community. Music is a tool that facilitates that happening. Countryside has a history of making a strong commitment to music as an important element of our worship services. This commitment traces its roots to the founding members of the church, as well as the engagement and efforts of the members of the church with musical talents. Our church is currently blessed with the musical talents of people like our organist in residence, Alex, the talents of our musical directors, Adam, Tyler, Shannon, who's not here today, but our thoughts are with her and the kids. The talents of the individuals in the band, Julie, Matt, Rick, Steve, Carlos. The many guest musicians and vocalists we invite to be part of our worship services, as well as the talents of the members of our choir, the children's choir, the youth choir, the adult choir, and the bell choir. And if I've forgotten to name anyone, I'm going to acknowledge Diane over here too, so I'm not going to forget her. I apologize, but you know who you are. Without question, the congregation owes a debt of gratitude to them, as well as the vocalists, musicians, and choir directors who preceded them. They, along with Jenny, Sarah, Dan, and others, put a tremendous amount of effort into the preparation of each worship service. And there's a tremendous amount of coordination between the theological themes of each service and the selection of music for each service. If you listen to the lyrics of the songs sung at each service, whether by Julie, the choirs, or us as a congregation, you will note the lyrics sometimes repeating or emphasizing the theological message shared with us by Jenny and Sarah. That is by design and intentional, connecting us emotionally and theologically as a congregation. Imagine More is the theme of Countryside's stewardship campaign. As has been said, it is bold, forward-looking, and as its title suggests, imaginative. One aspect of the Imagine More stewardship effort is the commitment to growing music and the arts in our church. It is a commitment to developing and growing the children and youth choirs, a commitment to continuing to be able to invite vocalists and musicians to be guest presenters at our service, and a commitment to further developing music in the arts in our church in ways that today we cannot possibly imagine. Excuse me. Imagine More is asking for financial commitment from each of us to achieve its goals. Asking people to make a financial commitment is hard. Asking ourselves to make a financial commitment is hard. Most Wednesdays at the start of choir practice, we have occasion to sing a beautiful song. Initially, my focus when singing this song was to make sure I was singing the right notes, while at the same time singing the lyrics correctly. For me, like trying to walk and chew gum at the same time, which can be a challenge. My initial focus was terribly misguided because I was not listening to what the lyrics were telling me. You see, Adam, in selecting this particular song, was not necessarily wanting us to use the song to warm up our voices. Rather, in hindsight, I now understand Adam selected this song to warm up our minds and our hearts to the theology, the emotion, and the purpose we as a choir provide to the congregation as part of the worship service, and to recognize that sometimes fulfilling that purpose can be hard. I want to share with you the title and lyrics of that song. The title of the song is For Hard Things. And here are the lyrics. There are hard things I must do today, dear God. Hard things, but I should like to do them well and bravely as I can. I ask for courage. Let me not give up when things go wrong, but gladly try another way. Dear God, be near me through the day and help me do the hard things well. Asking members of our church to make a financial commitment to a stewardship campaign is a hard thing. Asking ourselves individually to make a financial commitment to a stewardship campaign can be an even harder thing. Hard things and doing hard things well. When we bravely address and embrace those hard things, we imagine more. Most of you have received pledge cards. If you brought it with you, we invite you to bring it forward at this time. There will be a basket here at the altar, somewhere. Right here, I'm sorry. And if you, as you bring your cards forward, if you place them in the baskets, many pledges are already in, so we don't expect many of you to necessarily come down, but nonetheless, we thank you. But if you do feel comfortable coming down, thank you. Again, I thank you all for making a pledge to imagine more. Thank you.
Thanks for those pledges. Good morning, I'm Tim Kerrigan. So religion, politics, money. And I didn't think you could get me over the Husker football thing yesterday, so well done. Hey, it's my pleasure to just talk for a minute about stewardship. So I'm a proud member of your stewardship team. And I'm proudly wearing my ribbon that shows that I've pledged to Imagine More, because I am proud to imagine more with you along with this awesome church. You can see this is similar to what you see out in the lobby. $734,000 has been pledged. It's about 24% participation. Our goal is $1.5 million and 100% participation. So we're doing great with half the money in and only a quarter folks pledging. But clearly we have a long way to go, and I heard mention of we're beginning to wrap up, so we really do need folks to wrap it up if they could. This represents about 100 pledges. There's 120 folks that give online in addition to those. We love those online givers because it provides steady cash flow, which is great for operating any business, right? But sometimes, as I've said before, sometimes we forget about that because it's just online. Please think about your pledge. Please consider increasing your pledge substantially to Imagine More. And we are asking if you would please give us a pledge card so that we kind of have the pledge card, and the online thing. So that's about 120 folks, and then there's another 60 folks, traditional givers that don't do online. They put a check in the basket, or maybe it comes once a month, or maybe quarterly. People do what they do. There's 60 folks that we haven't heard from yet. 60 folks that pledged in the past we haven't heard from yet for 2025. So those same message, please consider increasing your pledge, and please let us know what you're going to do with the pledge card. That leaves 150 folks that we hope will become new first-time givers, and we're working on those folks, and that's where we stand on it. I'll be around after church if you have any questions on where we stand. It's our goal to be transparent with the dollars and cents as we can be. Thanks for making Countryside wonderful.